New Cameo characters are coming to Mortal Kombat 1, according to the creator himself, Ed Boon, and he mentioned this months ago, so even if the game is cancelled, it's still very likely that more cameos are on the way. In fact, even famous insiders like Fate Unknown have stated that 2 possible cameo characters could be coming, even though he believes Mortal Kombat 1 is cancelled. And to make things even more interesting, there's data hidden in the code of Mortal Kombat 1 that also hints at more cameo characters. So today's video is all about them, which cameo characters are most likely coming to Mortal Kombat 1. Because another day means more Mortal Kombat 1 news. I'm covering it all the time on this channel, so if you want to stay up to date, then make sure to subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss any future videos. And then after watching, if you enjoyed today's video, please leave a like down below, it helps the channel out a ton. And without any further ado, let's begin. Starting off with Erron Black and Nightwolf. That's right, 2 very fan favorite characters in the series. Erron Black instantly won over players in Mortal Kombat X, and Nightwolf has been famous ever since his debut in the classic games. So both characters are beloved by fans even though they're from different eras in gaming. Now real quick, I know what everybody is thinking, Nightwolf and Erron Black would be much cooler as fully playable characters than cameo characters, and I definitely agree with you, do not get that twisted. I would much rather have a fully playable character over a cameo character. But I'm just saying, based on information we've gotten in the past combined with more recent information, it does seem possible that both Erron Black and Nightwolf could be cameo characters in Mortal Kombat 1. And Interloco stated many months ago that these characters could return, possibly as cameo characters. Which is very interesting because Interloco is an active data miner for Mortal Kombat 1 who is constantly discovering secrets about the game. So if he believes that these characters could return, then that's a reason for players to get excited. Because don't forget that even Fate Unknown himself also stated that cameo characters might be coming even if Mortal Kombat 1 is cancelled after all. And that's because NetherRealm has already spent a good amount of time working on these cameo characters, and in fact, the cameo characters might be finished or at least very close to being finished. And as a result, it would be a big waste of money to not finish them off and then add them to the game, even if we're not getting any content after Chaos Reigns. Which I think is one nice silver lining to this entire situation. Even if Mortal Kombat 1 is done and we're not getting any new content after the guest characters arrive, it's still nice to know that we're most likely getting 2 cameo characters, or at the very least 1 more cameo character. Now keep in mind, I'm aware that many of you watching do not like the cameo system, and I personally would not care if it's gone in the sequel. I'd be completely fine with that, but for the record, I do think the cameo characters were fun and did add some variety and spice to the game overall, and also I just love when developers try new things. But I digress. Speaking of Interloco, let's have a look at his Combat Pack 3 list. None of these characters are guaranteed to be in Mortal Kombat 1, however, their names do exist in the game's code in one way or another, which does mean they could very well be upcoming cameo characters or even fully playable characters if Combat Pack 3 is not cancelled after all. But today's video is all about the cameo characters, so let's discuss which characters on this list are most likely to return as cameos. Starting off with the characters that I think will not be cameo fighters, like Jade for example. It would be crazy for NetherRealm to bring back Jade as a cameo character instead of a fully playable character, because not only is she a fan favorite that fans have wanted to return for a very long time now, but on top of that, her current fan base is a bit crazy, a bit nutty, they're kind of rabid, and as a result, you do not want to give them a cameo character. That would be bad news for everyone. And as a result, we know that Jade's not going to be a cameo character, scratch her off, and the same is also true for Triborg. I don't think he'd be a cameo character because we already have Cyrax and Sector as cameos, so it wouldn't make sense for a cameo character to be all 3 cyborgs combined. Yes, you would get Cyber Smoke too, but the point remains, it would be very redundant to have Cyrax and Sector as separate cameos, and then another cameo character who's Cyrax, Sector, and Smoke. That would not make any sense. And as a result, we can also scratch off Triborg from this list as well. Next up, let's look at Kotal. I think it's 50-50 with this character. He would definitely be much better as a fully playable character, but that's true for several cameo characters, right? Like Sonya Blade would be much better as a fully playable character. Kano would be much better as a fully playable character, and yet even so, NetherRealm made them cameo fighters. So with that in mind, I do think that Kotal is a 50-50 situation, right? He might be a cameo, he might not, but if I was a gambling man, I think it's more likely that Kotal would be a fully playable character simply because he is name dropped in the story mode, but also we are talking about NetherRealm here. I think they might be crazy enough to make this fan beloved character a cameo cameo instead of a main character. How about Jarek though? Here's where things get really interesting, because Jarek is definitely not a fan favorite character, and as a result he could be the perfect cameo fighter. However, we already have Kano, and for anyone not aware, Jarek literally was Kano's replacement in Mortal Kombat 4, and I mean literally, all the way down to his moveset, Jarek was almost identical to Kano, so it wouldn't make sense for both of them to be cameo characters, unless for some reason they gave Jarek a completely new moveset as a cameo, or gave him those weird rope abilities from Armageddon, but then he would just be like Scorpion, so that wouldn't make much sense either. And as a result, I think if Jarek returns at all, it's gonna be as a fully playable character, which sounds crazy to say, but I think it's more likely to happen over him being a cameo character. I'm just saying. So next up we have Cobra, and here's where things get really interesting, because for anyone not aware, Cobra is technically in the game. When you pick a Ghostface, you can switch over to Cobra's moveset, and it is actually Cobra. For anyone who wants to argue with me, even the game's code itself has him listed as Cobra for all of his attacks. So yes, whenever Ghostface pulls out that purple weapon, he is in fact Cobra. Or in other words, Cobra is already in the game as a main character, kind of. So would NetherRealm also make him a cameo character? I honestly don't think so, because they'd have to include Kira too. These characters have always been together, not just in game form, but also in movie form. So I don't think Cobra will be a cameo character, because Interloco did not list Kira anywhere in his video, which means he likely did not find her name in the game files. So yeah, I don't think Cobra's gonna be a cameo character either, because the two are just inseparable. Alright, so next up we have Suhao. I'm not gonna lie, I think Suhao as a cameo character would go kinda hard. I would love this. His thunderclap ability, just like the Incredible Hulk in the Marvel films and video games, would be perfect as a cameo move, and would also make him more distinct from Kano and other Black Dragon members. He could also have the chest laser, which is kinda similar to Kano, but when combined with the thunderclap, I think it would make him a bit more unique. And at the same time, Suhao is just not famous enough to warrant a fully playable character slot. I'm just gonna keep it real. I do love Suhao. I think plenty of people also love Suhao, but the reality is he's just not popular enough to be a main character on the roster. I'm just gonna say it. We're all thinking it too, alright? I'm just putting it out loud. We're all thinking it. So at the end of the day, I do think it's possible that Suhao would be a cameo character in Mortal Kombat 1. Now with that all said, would NetherRealm make him a cameo over the other possible characters listed on screen? That part I'm not so sure about. I think it's definitely way more likely that NetherRealm would pick any other character on this list to be a cameo before Suhao. For anyone not aware, the developers hate Suhao way more than the Mortal Kombat fans do. Which means now, last but certainly not least, it's time to talk about Blaze, one of the most misunderstood and underrated final bosses in the Mortal Kombat series. To this day, I see people in the comments section saying that Blaze is just an angry dude made of fire with no lore, no backstory, he's just a final boss to kill and that's it. Which could not be further from the truth. You could actually make an essay about the lore behind Blaze. And in fact, I've considered making an entire video about Blaze and his role in past games because it goes back further than you think. So to put the record straight, Blaze is actually a complex and deep character, but would he be a cameo? Yeah, I think Blaze could be a really cool cameo. I'm not sure if NetherRealm would go with the big burly version we see in Armageddon, or the skinnier humanoid version that we see in Deception, and also in certain arcade ladder endings in Deadly Alliance. Honestly, I think both versions could work. However, the giant form of Blaze would definitely be more unique and help him to stand out. So if I was in charge at NetherRealm, that's what I would go with. Big boy Blaze would just stand out and be a bit more unique than other characters on the Cameo roster. Alright everyone, there you have it. Both insiders and data miners do believe we could still get some cameo characters in the future of Mortal Kombat 1, even if the game is cancelled, and based on the data we have so far, I think these are the most likely candidates. However, as you all know, I love making these videos interactive, so let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Which cameo characters do you think are coming next in Mortal Kombat 1? Or honestly, just let me know which cameo characters you do want in the game. That would also be great. Any and all of your thoughts, let me know in the comments down below, because like I say in all my videos, even though not enough people believe me, I truly truly do read each and every comment, so grab that keyboard and make your voices heard. Another day means more Mortal Kombat 1 news. Thanks for watching everyone, and I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like down below, it helps the channel out a ton, and if you haven't already, finish that combo by subscribing and ringing that bell so you never miss any future videos. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.